a house for $700, or a ski-in, ski-out resort condo for only $1. You may have seen videos online promising dirt-cheap houses and condos in rural Japan. A life surrounded by beautiful nature, fishing, kayaking, and barbecues on weekends, growing your own vegetables, hanging out with friendly neighbors, and in the winter, skiing every single day. Even Tokyo is just a single bullet train ride away. And thanks to the ultra-high-speed internet, you can work remotely from anywhere. As a smart viewer, you probably thought to yourself, that can't be true. This must be a trap. Congratulations. Your instinct is 100% correct. This is not a dream deal. This is a legal game of the hot potato, pushing the burden onto others. The previous owners are desperately trying to pass a liability on to you. But do you know exactly what is really behind this trap? Financially, physically, and mentally, and how there is no way out. Today, let's take a deep dive into the cold reality behind Japan's $1 houses. Imagine an old house in the countryside. The moment you step inside, your heart starts racing. It is a traditional wooden house with tatami mats and a classic Japanese fireplace in the living room. You slide the wooden doors open and think, wow, this place has such a strong Zen vibe. This is a 60-year-old traditional Japanese house. Yes, it's old, but your imagination starts running wild. It feels like the world of the anime, My Neighbor Totoro. Beautiful nature, a traditional wooden house, and plenty of room to breathe. You think you can just renovate it? Pretty sure it can be turned into an amazing home. Japan has perfect fiber optic internet and paved roads even in the deepest countryside. Location shouldn't be a problem. The backyard is huge. It seems to connect right into the forest. Your imagination is unstoppable. Building a wooden deck, setting up a barbecue smoker, starting a vegetable garden, or even building a private sauna. And all of this is only $700. In the US, you couldn't even buy a backyard shed for that price. Here's another option, a resort condominium in Yuzawa, Niigata Prefecture, a town famous for its ski resorts. Outside the window, you see a quiet, beautiful world of white snow and ski slopes. This condo was built during Japan's bubble economy. The facility is luxurious, featuring grand marble lobbies, a 24-hour hot spring, indoor swimming pool, sauna, karaoke room, and even more. Today they cost only $1. Cheaper than a cup of Starbucks coffee. No, that is not monthly rent. That is the purchase price for full ownership. Best of all, it is just a 75-minute bullet train ride from Tokyo. While buyers are excitedly talking about their dreams, the current owners and real estate agents are secretly thinking the exact opposite. Please, just buy it quickly. Take this liability off my hands. Let's go back to the basics of business. If an asset is so valuable, why are they desperate to sell it at such a low price? There has to be a catch. Is it property taxes? Honestly, no. Japan's property tax is not that high. For these cheap properties, it usually costs only a few $100s a year. That said, there is one tax trap worth knowing. In Japan, acquisition taxes and registration fees are not based on the price you paid. They are calculated using the government's official assessed value. So that $700 house might carry an official assessed value of $30,000, and you will be taxed accordingly before you even move in. But even that is not the real nightmare. The real nightmare of ownership is much heavier than taxes. In Japanese resort condos, there are two types of fixed monthly costs: management fees and repair reserve funds. These expenses never stop. They continue forever as long as you own the place. The management fee covers facility and community costs, such as cleaning, building maintenance, and running the elevators. As an owner, you are legally required to pay this every month, even if you only use it as a vacation home. In luxury resort condos with hot spring facilities, this can easily cost around $300 a month. Then there is the repair reserve fund. In Japan, condo owners form an association and save money together to pay for large-scale maintenance projects, like repainting the outer walls and replacing water pipes. You cannot opt out of this, no matter how rarely you visit. What's worse, this fee usually goes up as the building gets older. If many units are abandoned and owners stop paying, the fund runs out. The building deteriorates, and the property value drops. And here's the most terrifying part. Article 8 of Japan's Condominium Ownership Act states that any unpaid management fees and repair funds from the previous owner are 100% automatically passed on to the new owner. Owners and agents are legally required to disclose these debts. However, they are not required to talk you out of buying the property. Agents only make money when a deal is signed. In the end, the choice and the risk is entirely yours. When foreigners buy and sell properties directly among themselves, they often skip these legally mandated disclosures simply because they don't know the rules. Some even just hand over the keys without any legal paperwork. But even with a professional agent, the mountain of paperwork means even Japanese buyers miss critical details. That sounds terrifying, but you may be thinking, hey, that's just for condos, right? If I buy a house, I don't have to deal with any of that. Well, think again. It's actually worse. With a standalone house, you are 100% responsible for every single repair. What if the house is already tilted when you buy it? What if the water pipes are rusted out? What if termites have eaten the pillars from the inside, or the roof needs a full replacement? Any of these issues will instantly cost you tens of thousands of dollars. Termite treatment and structural repair alone can run anywhere from $7,000 to $20,000. And a full roof replacement can easily hit $10,000 to $20,000 on top of that. Also, many old Japanese houses completely lack insulation. Japan's climate is brutal. Summers are as hot and humid as Southeast Asia, while winters are as freezing as Northern Europe. And you are stuck right in the middle of it with zero protection. The reality is, you have to pay a massive amount of money just to make the place livable. And you keep losing money every single month, even if you never step inside. It's a subscription that never ends. That's the financial reality. But the money is only half the story. Because even with fiber optic internet and paved roads, daily life in rural Japan is a completely different beast. And the problems come at you one after another. Forget Japan's world-famous train network. That only exists in big cities. In the countryside, you are completely dependent on a car, the nearest supermarket, a 30-minute drive, the hospital, an hour. Without a car, you simply cannot survive. But here's the first wall. You need a Japanese driver's license. And since October 2025, the government tightened the rules significantly. Depending on where your license was issued, you now face a written exam and one of the most notoriously difficult practical driving tests in the world. You can fail for the tiniest mistakes, like not coming to a complete dead stop at a stop sign or missing a single blind spot check. To bypass the test, your only real option is an official driving school, thousands of dollars and several weeks of your life. And even after all that, rural roads are narrow, winding, and pitch dark at night. Two small cars often can't pass each other without one backing up. And that's just to get started. Now the problems come at you one after another. Snow. If you're near a ski resort, a single night can drop over a meter. You need a snowblower. A good one runs $10,000. Every morning, you're out in the freezing cold, clearing a path just to leave your house. And clearing the roof. One slip can kill you. Every year, Japanese news is filled with stories of people dying doing exactly that. Utility bills. Old Japanese houses have virtually no insulation, no central heating. You run individual heaters in every room all winter long. Even if you're careful, expect to pay $300 to $600 a month just to stay warm. And that 75 minutes to Tokyo promise, that clock only starts once you're sitting on the bullet train. Add the drive to the station, the wait, the local bus, and your quick Tokyo trip easily becomes a 3-hour journey each way. But the hardest part isn't the snow, or the driving, or the utility bills. It's the loneliness. In Tokyo, you can get by without speaking Japanese. There are more foreigners you can hang out with and reach out for help in your native language. Shops have English menus, hospitals have English-speaking staff. In the countryside, that safety net simply doesn't exist. And rural Japan operates on a powerful, deeply ingrained system called the Jichikai, the Neighborhood Association. As a member, you are expected to show up for community labor, clearing weeds from public spaces, managing the local garbage station, helping organize the summer festival. These aren't optional. They are the unwritten social contract of rural life. Miss them once or twice, and people notice. Miss them consistently, especially if you can't explain yourself in Japanese, and you will find yourself completely isolated, not in a dramatic way, just quietly, gradually left out of everything. Of course, these communities have a genuinely beautiful side. Neighbors look out for each other. They'll show up at your door with fresh vegetables. They'll help you in ways you didn't even think to ask for. But those gifts only come after you've carried your share of the weight. Japan's culture of harmony, wa, looks peaceful and warm from the outside. Step inside, and you will quickly discover that harmony has a price. Everyone is expected to pay it, and no one will tell you directly when you haven't. There is one more wall that many people forget entirely. Anyone can buy real estate in Japan. It doesn't matter what country you're from. However, buying a property does not automatically give you the right to stay. You can visit on a tourist visa, but if you want to actually live in your new home, you need a long-term visa. In the past, some used a clever loophole, setting up a company with a minimum capital of 5 million yen to obtain a business manager visa. But following strict legal changes in October 2025, the government has completely crushed this route. Officials are now conducting unannounced physical inspections, literally showing up at your office doorstep to check if a real business is actually operating. Setting up a paper company just to secure a visa no longer works. So, let's say you've heard all of this, and you still think, fine, I'll just treat it as a cheap vacation home. Real estate always goes up eventually, right? Let's talk about that assumption for a second. Japan's real estate market has been booming, right? Tokyo prices are hitting record highs, so surely the value will go up eventually. Here's the reality. That boom exists in Tokyo, Osaka, and a handful of major cities. In rural Japan, it's the exact opposite. The moment you sign the contract, the value starts dropping, just like a used car. Unless you are a seasoned real estate expert who knows exactly what to look for, you should assume a countryside property will only lose value over time. The price isn't low because you found a hidden gem. It's low because the market already knows something you don't. And that's not all. The Japanese government is now stepping in, with a warning you cannot ignore. Right now, Japan has about 9 million abandoned houses, known as akiya, or vacant houses. That means roughly 1 out of every 7 homes in the country is empty. Faced with this crisis, the Japanese government is fighting back with aggressive new laws. Under a law that took effect in December 2023, if your property is designated as poorly managed, classified as either a poorly managed vacant house or, in more severe cases, a specified vacant house, your property tax can instantly skyrocket up to 6 times higher. On top of that, since April 2024, registering inherited property is legally mandatory. Japanese people can no longer simply walk away from houses they inherit. You might think, I'm not Japanese. If things go wrong, I can just fly back to my home country. That might work if you plan to never step foot in Japan again for the rest of your life. But the Japanese government has closed that loophole too. They have linked immigration databases with tax and national health insurance records. If you abandon a property and leave unpaid bills, your future visas will be denied, and entering Japan will become a nightmare. In fact, the government even started a system where citizens can literally pay the state to take back unwanted land. The very existence of this system tells you everything you need to know. Japanese people, people who grew up here, who speak the language fluently, who understand every rule, are so desperate to escape these properties that they are willing to pay money just to hand them back to the government. Once you buy one, you are stuck. This is the true nature of an endless game of hot potato. If you are the last one holding it, you lose. As the old saying goes, there's no such thing as a free lunch. When you buy cheap real estate in Japan, you are not buying a house. You are taking over the exact legal and financial burden the previous owner was desperately trying to escape. But if we end here, this is just a story of despair. The truth is, there are people, a rare few, who have made the dream real. Foreigners who moved to rural Japan and built a genuinely rich, peaceful life surrounded by nature. But they did not buy on a whim because it was cheap. They did their homework. They understood the endless maintenance costs, the repair risks, the brutal winter snow, the language barrier, and the unwritten rules of rural community life. Many of them rented first, living in the area for a year or more before making any permanent commitment. They came fully prepared, not just financially, but mentally. For them, this was never a cheap investment. It was a serious, deliberate lifestyle choice. And because they put in the honest work and showed genuine respect for the community, they were able to build something real. Cheap things always come with a hidden price tag. The question is whether you are ready to pay it, not just in money, but in time, in effort, and in humility. To those who are truly ready, with respect, the very best of luck.